When starting this short but sweet series on the channel, I knew it was only a matter of time before I had to discuss the character of Hero. Undoubtedly one of the most beloved characters in OMORI. Hero's charming and sensitive nature is one of the many reasons people fall head over heels for the guy. But don't think I'm gonna go easy on him. This is a man with a chronic case of people pleasing, and definitely a man who isn't acquainted with the crushing concept of conflict. That was until that fateful day. Without further ado, let's look into the third and final party member of OMORI. This is an in-depth character analysis of Hero, a Peacekeepers Torment. Before we get into any intricate details about Dream Hero's psyche, we gotta start from the most bombastic part of his personality, and that would be his charm. Charisma is his best attribute, but also his worst detriment. He uses sweet moves in the overworld to soften up those with a hard outer shell, and he uses it in battle to bring attention to himself. On the other hand, his unknowing charismatic existence attracted Sweetheart, an absolute psychopath who locked him and his friends in a dungeon to rot and die. Good job, Sandwich Boy. On top of this, Dream Hero's charity, when unchecked, becomes very chaotic, very fast. Just to look at the Deep Sea Hotel, Dream Hero was an unpaid intern who increased work output by 700%. Screw finding Basil. Hero needs to go on a journey to find self-respect since he desperately needs it. Or, like, join a union or something, people get really unfairly paid. Mental health awareness aside, I like to think that he's such a pushover in this world, so Sunny can justify why Hero would want to hang out with him at all. Sunny clearly doesn't think too highly of himself, so Hero's kindness must be out of a strong sense of pity. Anything else would just be ludicrous, right? The dynamic between Dream Hero and OMORI is a lot more disconnected than the relationship OMORI has with Dream Kel and Aubrey. These two are unlike Hero in the regard that they see eye to eye with OMORI, to the point where Kel overestimates his abilities, and Aubrey seems to idealize him at times. Hero is more akin to a role model for OMORI. The only times he talks is either for a morale boost or to give items to help with the game. There's not ever a time when he asks OMORI for help or speaks to him with any other intent that's not advice. Dream Hero is the problem solver, the voice of reason. Not really a part of the fun adventure, rather in the sidelines helping the group get to where they need to go. Which could suggest why his abilities in battle are to help the gang as a healer. Not in the chaos per se, but helping on the sidelines. I'm not saying he hates OMORI by any means, but what I am saying is that he doesn't seem to be friends with him. Judging by his dialogue, Dream Hero sees OMORI as Mari's little brother, someone he needs to keep safe and happy, and maybe a part of Sunny recognized that in the real world. Dream Hero's attitude towards Kel and Aubrey is very different. He's less bothered about keeping them happy and more concerned about them getting along. You can see in the first argument scene, for instance, that he is more stern and hard-faced than he is polite and delicate. Oh, hey Maria, did you want to look at the photos too? Aww. It's too bad that came out kind of blurry, but you all still look so cute. I should add it to my collection. Woohoo! Never shy for the photo album. Move over, Aubrey, I can't see. Hey, stop pushing! You already had your turn. Get out of my way, Kel. Wait, hold on, there's no need to fight. Me first. No, me! Stop it. You guys are knocking me over. You guys are moving really fastly near my sprite. Am I fall? Oh my gosh. Basil, I'm so sorry. Are you okay, Basil? You two are in big trouble now. This is why the both of you need to learn how to get along. I'm sorry, we didn't mean it, Hero. Please don't tell Mary. It's okay, don't worry about it. Accidents happen.
Here are your photos. It doesn't look like any of them got damaged. Let's put them back in your photo album together. Thank you, Hero.
He could be acting like this for a number of reasons. It's most likely that the nice friend routine doesn't work on Kel and OMORI, or it could be that he doesn't need to go easy on them like he has to with OMORI. He's not prioritizing OMORI's happiness, but it is interesting to point out how he treats OMORI way nicer than these two rascals. Maybe if they went at each other's throats all the time, he wouldn't have to use his strict mum voice. So that's Dream Hero, a role model to OMORI, and an overworked mother to Kel and OMORI. This isn't really important to touch on, but his fear of spiders in Headspace is way more exaggerated in the real world. I'd like to think of that as Sunny subconsciously looking up to Hero, and overestimating how much courage he actually has. Consider this further evidence to my theory of Hero being Sunny's role model. So, how does this unhealthy boy compare to the real deal? Hero in the real world is a complete turnaround to how he is in Headspace. Just like his fear of spiders, I thought that this hero was an exaggeration of this hero, not the other way around like with the other characters I've analysed so far. For starters, he's a complete shut-in after Mari's death. An obvious example of this can be found in the graveyard conversation with Kel, where he states that he didn't want to get out of bed for school or even eat, which is a clear sign that he lost himself in his grief. His depression. As much as Kel told the player that Hero got better, that he picked himself up by the bootstraps and aimed for the future, I didn't really believe it. Looking back into Hero's character, I feel like he adopted more toxically positive traits that ultimately harmed him more as a person in order to protect the feelings of those close to him. As I said before, he lost himself in his depression, but the image he projects builds a wall that no one even notices, and he only lets go of that projection for the sake of his friend's healing, not his own well-being. There's not necessarily a huge moment that made me feel this way. Kel and OMORI are pretty easy to dissect as characters due to their bold personalities, but with Hero, you gotta read between the lines in most cases. For example, it makes sense why he never visited Mari's grave, and he has every right not to visit it until he's ready to. So, when does he decide to visit? When the whole gang is there.
Hey Hero, how you feeling? I'm okay. I'm glad we're all here to see her. Hey Murray, I'm sorry I haven't visited you yet. I was being selfish, I think. It's been so long, but I still miss you more than ever. I'm sorry I wasn't there. I'm just really sorry.
Hero, you don't have to be so hard on yourself.
Yeah, we're here for you if you ever need us. Thanks, guys. Don't worry about me too much, okay? Here, this is for you, Murray. From all of us.
He says that he's glad that they are all there, not really referring to himself. When he does refer to himself, he says that he was being selfish. You could read this as Hero being thankful that everyone is here for him, but the way he acts in general is for the sake of others. It's never about him or his feelings. Every positive step he takes has to, in some way, impress or help those around him, which will more often than not take away from his development. I feel like he does this mostly out of guilt for the argument he had with his brother. According to Kel, that seemed to be his first time acting out, and a volatile reaction like that could be the reason he seems to help those around him constantly. He may not be feeling charitable, but guilty. Another reason could be the burden he carries of child favoritism. He's definitely academically gifted, but doesn't use that gift to pursue a career he enjoys. Instead, he uses it to please his parents, even though it's his future, not theirs. I'm obviously talking about his cooking. Throughout the game, we're given subtle hints that Hero always wanted to be a chef or a baker, but went into medicine instead. We see him heal with food in Headspace as opposed to medicine. Mari compliments his cooking in a flashback scene, and even in the official OMORI calendar for February, we see Hero and Mari baking. He might have kept on baking and rebelled against his parents to pursue the culinary arts as a career if the one person cheering him on didn't meet a tragic end. An end which he blames himself for. Hero has been the one character in this whole game who has truly stumped me. For months on end I tried to reconcile with why that was, but never really came up with the right words to truly articulate the issue I was having. Then, when watching one of my OMORI VODs to find an answer, I found this. Yeah, the emotion chart. Not so special, right? Most people know that this chart is a representation of how the party dealt with their collective trauma. Kel with constant positivity, Aubrey with lashing out, Sonny with shutting down all of his emotions, and Hero, who let his grief take over. But as the game progresses, so does this chart. Figuratively of course, with both Kel and Aubrey facing their trauma by embracing their sadness and becoming happier as a result. Hero's character arc is much more different and, well, incomplete. That's when it hit me. Hero never had Hero. The whole group was able to go through these emotions and properly work through them once they had the support of Hero to guide them through it. He never had that. His anchor was always Mari. Because of this, everyone was able to effectively complete their character arcs within the story and reconcile with their issues, while Hero stayed stagnated from start to finish from the moment we met him. Throughout my playthrough, I never saw him once get an ounce of catharsis or closure on his own terms. The only thing close to that was when he was left alone to cry over Mari's piano. I hope I'm wrong here, but Hero in my eyes is an incomplete character. And if we're all being honest with ourselves, he probably doesn't feel deserving of any help, even if those closest to him insist on being the shoulder to cry on for a change. To summarise, Hero is a perfect representation of the toll high expectations can have on a person. Battling with your passions and who you are as a person to please those around you is almost impossible to do when the only person who truly understands you vanishes in an instant. But, for better or for worse, Hero managed to keep that facade up. Throughout all of his life, he was able to bury his emotions deep down and also stabilize a fractured group when they needed him most. Although, it's hard to think that facade will stay up after Sonny's confession. I've been Ricknick, and this has been a character analysis on Hero, a Peacekeepers Torment. I'll see you next time.